If you like Casablanca, then you'll like Foreign Correspondent from 1940. It's one of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock films and easily his most underrated. It follows an American reporter, played by Joel McCrea, who is sent to London to interview a Dutch diplomat. He does, but the man is murdered the next day. Now McCrea is determined to find the killer. Of course, he uncovers more than he ever thought possible. This is a tightly written script with many suspenseful sequences. But honestly, my favorite part is the dialogue. Yeah, we focus so much on the visual and tonal aspects of Hitchcock's films that we often forget to give them credit for their razor-sharp dialogue. I think most Hitchcock films have this quality, but this one in particular sticks in my head. Joel McCrea does a great job in the lead, and he's the perfect archetype for a film like this. He's an everyman that we can latch onto, but he has just enough of a personality that makes him feel like a character rather than a blank slate. Honestly, there are lots of characters like this from this time frame, and I find it fascinating how many of them work so well. As I said, he does great, but man, some of these supporting actors are incredible. I mean, McCrea's on screen with some enigmatic people. George Sanders, Herbert Marshall, and Edmund Gwynn always grab my attention whenever I put this film on. I think their performances are never talked about enough, especially Edmund Gwynn. He's in one sequence, and it's one of the best parts of the film. He's so two-faced, but you buy every second of it. I love how unsuspecting he looks next to Joel McCrea. But it's not just those few that I mentioned. Even the most minor characters leave a big impact. This is why it's one of my favorite Hitchcock films. These incredible actors make the story feel so much bigger and make the stakes feel higher. It is a story about a man trying to figure something out, but the longer it goes on, the more it envelops not just the people around him, but the entire world. Not only that, but it does it in a realistic fashion, which is really hard to pull off. As much as I love Hitchcock in color, I love him just as much in black and white. Every shot feels like a piece of art. The composition and the blocking of the actors are incredible. People often cite slower and still shots when talking about Hitchcock's camera, but this film has lots of fast scenes that go mostly underappreciated. Of course, the famous sequence is the chase through the rain. On a first viewing, you can miss all the detail that was painstakingly crafted into the frame. Another great part of the film is the scope. It feels so massive even though you can tell there were limitations. Like, look at these windmills. It's obviously a set, but you just get lost in the artistry of them. They're so foreboding, and you know that the main character needs to go in there because something is obviously up. I love stuff like that. The inside is great too. I love the streaks of light that pierce through the rotting wood. Some have said that they feel the light represents the conspirators' plans starting to crumble, but I feel otherwise. To me, it feels like the light are spears, piercing through the narrow corridor, creating a more claustrophobic environment for our main character. I also love the hotel exterior. There's a sequence where McCrea has to cross the building, and not only is it suspenseful, but the set itself makes you feel the weight of the fall. The camera angle also makes us feel like our head is in mid-tilt before we fall into the chasm below. It's not quite film noir, but it does have many attributes that would go on to be in film noirs. So check this one out if you like Casablanca. It has a suspenseful World War II story, romance, great characters. What else could you ask for?